What's going on, guys? It's Greg here today bringing you a Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 gameplay commentary, and what you'll be watching here is a double nuke fail. I died on a 26, and I did end up getting a nuke, and it's actually started off as a pretty competitive, sweaty match, and then once we got an advanced UAV, pretty much the entire enemy team left, and new players were refreshed in the lobby, and it was much easier after that. Anyways, so I want to talk to you guys today about how you guys can stay alive longer and get nukes or MGBs, whatever you want to call them. And the reason for this is so, you guys have asked me for it, and I want to help you guys out, stay alive longer, make smarter decisions, and all that kind of stuff. So let's go ahead and talk about some things that will help you guys out whenever it comes to getting MGBs. So first things first, playing solo is pretty hard to get MGBs, and it is simply because if you're not going to be exploiting matchmaking, you don't know how the team balance is going to be. Teammates can be feeding the enemy's kill streaks and all that kind of stuff, so it's going to be much harder if you're playing solo. But if you do have one other person you can party up with, and they are also capable of earning some streaks as well, such as UAVs and advanced UAVs, then it's going to be a much easier time to go ahead and get some nukes. I usually play with a friend or two whenever I am playing the game. I tend to not really play in a big party. I don't like playing in a big party, but I also do not enjoy playing solo, as the team balancing algorithm is very, well, chalked in this game. So I tend to play with one or two other people, and with that being said, most of us, we'll go ahead and run the advanced UAV together, and we'll try to snowball these together, and it makes playing the game a lot easier and much more fun, in my personal opinion. So that is tip number one, is always having a buddy that you can talk with and communicate with, as well as they can give you callouts and give you some streaks. It is going to make it a much easier time to being able to go on a longer kill streak. Another thing that is going to make it a lot easier is using informational kill streaks, and this is something of the UAV and the advanced UAV. I'm not going to put the counter UAV in here because you can obviously just go ahead and run Ghost, but having that UAV or advanced UAV, by the way, nice Claymore fail. I thought I had Semtex on to kill the Riot Shielder, but I didn't. But yeah, anyway, so advanced UAV and UAV are going to be the two best kill streaks whenever it comes to going for MGBs, because they're going to give you information based off of where everybody is in the lobby. And again, the advanced UAV is going to help you in real time if that enemy is not using Ghost. Now, if they are using Ghost, it is going to show them just like a normal UAV. However, if they are not running Ghost, they will be in real time. And this thing lasts almost a minute, so it is up for quite a bit of time, and it's really going to help you make the proper decisions you need to make whenever you're trying to go for a nuke. Now, for tip number 3, using a gun that you're comfortable with is also very good, and this doesn't mean that you have to use a meta gun. That doesn't mean you have to use a SCAR, it doesn't mean you have to use a Vaz, doesn't mean you have to use an M4, right? You can use something that is off meta, as long as if you're comfortable with that gun and you perform really well with that gun, you have its recoil pattern down to a really consistent spray, then you're going to be able to have better chances of getting on higher kill streaks and going for nukes, because you want to have a gun that you are comfortable with controlling its recoil and having the most perfect aim you possibly can while using said gun. If you're using a gun that you are not comfortable with and the recoil is not easily controlled for you, then you're going to struggle to stay alive on longer streaks, especially when you get into a gunfight where you just really need to clutch up and get that kill. Now, the next thing, I also want to talk about some perks and some equipment that's going to help you out. I think Claymores are great if you're in a smaller party. Same thing with the proximity mine, especially if you're a solo or in a smaller party. And the reason for this is you can't always trust your teammates to watch a flank, and you can't always trust your teammates to hold down an area of the map. So having that placed down on the map will give you some information of where enemies could be coming from if you don't have a UAV or advanced UAV up, because you will hear your Claymore proximity mine, go off or kill somebody or something. It can give you some information that you might not originally have known about. On top of that, it also just gives you free kills towards your MGB kill streak. Who doesn't like free kills? So you can run that too, and you can get some free kills. Now, for some perks that I want to talk about, there are some really good perks that you want to run. You're going to want to run perks that give you resistance. And what I mean by that is they're going to help you survive a lot longer. And these perks are things like Battle Hardened, Bomb Squad, Tracker. If you don't know how Tracker works, we're not using it for the footprints, but we're rather using it to hide enemy death icons, so that way they cannot see where we have recently killed their teammates at. Some other great perks in the bonus category are going to be fast hands. You can never go wrong with being able to swap your weapon, place equipment, and reload your gun much faster. Restock is another great option. Always having a steady supply of equipment can help you whenever you're in a pinch. And also, Hardline is great for getting initial streaks started. I use Hardline a lot, especially because I'm not actually somebody who goes for MGBs. I prefer to just get my advanced UAV, die, and try to get another advanced UAV, as I feel that I can get a lot more kills and also have a greater impact on the match than if I'm trying to go for a 30 kill streak where I cannot wrap my kill streaks. On top of that, the MGB doesn't really do much in this game other than get you the win. There's no kills, there's no reward, you just win the game automatically if you get one, and I could have spent my time just playing the objective and getting the win. So I just don't really find MGBs as rewarding as past nuke kill streaks, so that's why personally for me, I don't really tend to go for them as often. But Hardline is still great if you are going for MGBs, because getting that advanced UAV 1 kill earlier, or getting a crucial streak 1 kill earlier, can definitely make or break a situation in the lobby. And a lot of Call of Duty is momentum based, right? If you are having great momentum, you're going to likely be confident and you're going to be making smarter decisions. If the momentum starts getting chalked, you're going to be making worse decisions and you're going to start playing worse. So having Hardline on, making things like a UAV 1 kill earlier, if the enemies get a UAV on you, you only have to kill 3 people now instead of 4, and trust me, that makes a huge difference whenever the enemy team is hunting for you. Now, on another thing that I want to make note of, is that there are 2 ultimate perks that I highly recommend. Unless you're in a bigger party, you can go with the Bird's Eye perk. It is great having your mini-map zoomed out and being able to see more on your UAVs and advanced UAVs, and also getting a directional sweep from people who are on just a regular UAV is pretty cool, and you can tell what direction they're going to be coming from and what they're facing so you can make a smarter decision. However, there are 2 perks that I still think are going to be your best options for whenever you're trying to stay alive and you're trying to get a MGB, and this is going to be number 1, the Quick Fix perk. I think Quick Fix, if you are partied up with somebody and you guys can communicate and you can prevent the enemies from getting UAVs while also trying to get UAVs and advanced UAVs up for your team, I think the Quick Fix is going to be your absolute best option. And the reason for this is whenever you take damage in a gunfight, especially with skill-based matchmaking being in the game, people are likely going to be damaging you in gunfights. And as soon as you get the kill, or if you are playing the objective, you will start regenerating your health, which Quick Fix is going to be the ultimate tool for survivability. Now, if you're playing alone or you're playing in a smaller party and the enemy team is capable of earning UAVs, then Ghost is going to help you out tremendously, because if you need to play a little slower and smarter and you need to make some decisions and maybe you don't have a UAV up, you're not going to get hunted by the enemies as they're not going to know you're there. Another tip I have is run the suppressor. A lot of people in this game do not think suppressors do anything, considering the fact that they actually disable the Ghost perk. And what I mean by this is that if you get swept 3 seconds, right? You have 3 seconds, the Ghost perk will be disabled. That means if there is an enemy UAV and it sweeps you within those 3 seconds, you will appear on the radar. However, there still is something with the suppressor that a lot of people still seem to forget, and that is you are not going to be live pinging on the radar when you shoot your gun, even if you are running the Ghost perk or not running the Ghost perk. So, if you are using Ghost in combination with a suppressor, it's not guaranteed that you will be showing up on the enemy's minimap. It just depends on when that enemy UAV sweeps and whether or not you have been shooting your gun within the last 3 seconds of when that sweep occurs. So you have to keep that in mind. However, the suppressor, like I said, is still going to be a useful tool, as you will not be live pinging, which can make or break the enemy's decision making on whether or not they should push your location, as well as it is going to make it harder for people to understand your exact location when they're trying to use sound in order to hunt you down. So, the suppressor, still a very good option. Just know you're not going to get as great of recoil control as you might get if you're using something like a muzzle that is going to dramatically reduce the recoil of the gun. But suppressors are still very, very underrated, and I would highly recommend using them if you are going for MGBs or trying to stay alive a lot longer. Also, understanding the spawns is going to be the last thing, and trying to be able to predict spawn flips so you're not being shot in the back is going to be one of the most useful tools whenever it comes to trying to go for MGBs. Now, obviously, if you are having an advanced UAV or UAV up, it's going to be easier to predict spawn flips, but without those up, you're going to have to try to be able to predict spawn flips with much ease. So in order to do this, I just take note of where my teammates are at whenever I spawn in after dying, and I try to relate it to what is going on in the match, so that way I can try to better understand spawn flips. As the game continues to evolve, Infinity Ward is changing the spawns, trying to make them better. Sometimes they are worse and they require a little bit more work, but as time goes on, these spawns will still be evolving until we get the final system that Infinity Ward is happy with. So until then, you guys just have to keep trying out different things and adapting to the new spawns as Infinity Ward tries to make them better. Anyways, hopefully these tips have helped you guys out. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.